Hello students, I am VLN Swarupni, lecturer in biochemistry from Sri Venkateswara College of Arts and Sciences, which is affiliated to Adikavi Nannaya University, Rajahmundry. Now I would like to discuss about specific dynamic action of foods. So this topic is for 3rd BSc Biochemistry 5th semester students, and this topic is in the 5th paper of Physiology, Clinical Biochemistry and Immunology. So let's see about the topic specific dynamic action of foods. Okay, here it is the phenomenon of the extra heat production by the body over and above the calculated calorific value when a given food is metabolized by the body. It is called as specific dynamic action. So basically when food is taken into the body, our body will produce certain amount of heat, and this is calculated in caloric value. Okay, so in few conditions what happening is excess heat will be produced by the body. Okay, so above the calculated level, that means for this heat production will be higher to the calculated caloric value. Okay, so this particular heat production is called as specific dynamic action. So it is also called as calorigenic action or thermogenic action or thermic action of foods. So specific dynamic action or calorogenic action, thermogenic action, thermic action, anything is the similar. Okay, if you see specific dynamic action for different foods, for a food containing 25 grams of protein, the heat production from the caloric value is around 100 calories. Okay, so if a food contains 25 grams of protein content, then that particular food will produce heat, and that calorific value of that particular heat production will be around 100 calories. So this is how food is related to caloric value. Okay, however, when 25 grams food is utilized by the body, it will produce 130 calories of heat is liberated. So the value of 25 grams of protein food is 100 kilocalories, but by utilization of these proteins by body, it will produce 130 calories. That means 30 calories excess of heat is liberated. This extra 30 calories is the specific dynamic action of the protein food. Okay, so the excess heat produced is called as specific dynamic action of the protein. In the same manner, consumption of 100 calories of fat results in 113 calories. Okay, 100 calories of fat is consumed, resulting in the production of 113 calories of heat production, and that 13 extra calories is SDA, specific dynamic action. Okay, and also 100 calories of carbohydrates, when utilized it will produce 105 calories, and extra 5 is the SDA. So this is how proteins, fats, carbohydrates will be metabolized in our body, and they produce excess of the specific excess heat, which is called as SDA. And this SDA, that is specific dynamic action for protein, fat and carbohydrates, are that means for protein SDA is 30%, fat it is 13% and for carbohydrate it is 5% respectively. Thus proteins possess the highest SDA while carbohydrates has the lowest. Okay, and if you see SDA for mixed diet, so here mainly in Indian diet we for 100% will go for mixed diet. Okay, that's why we should see this SDA for mixed diet. Okay, for a mixed diet the SDA is not an additive value of different foods, but it is much less. The presence of fats and carbohydrates reduce the SDA of proteins, and fats are most effective in reducing SDA of foodstuffs. So here due to this SDA mixed diet, SDA value will be decreased. Why? Because if we take collectively, these proteins have higher SDA than fats and carbohydrates show very less SDA. As a mixed diet, these fats and carbohydrates will reduce the SDA value of proteins, and major part is done by fats. Okay, and for a regular mixed diet the SDA is around 10%. Okay, SDA will be 10%. Now let's see about the significance of SDA. If you see the significance of SDA, it is for the utilization of foods by the body. For the utilization of foods by the body, certain amount of energy is consumed from the body stores. Okay, so what happens? For utilization of foods by the body, certain amount of energy consumed from the stored form of foods. Okay, so for utilizing what our body will do, it will consume the stored foods also. Okay, it will consume the stored food energy from the stored food also, and this is actually an expenditure. This is an expenditure, actual expenditure by the body for the utilization of foodstuffs. This is actually an expenditure by the body for the utilization of foodstuffs. Okay, it is the highest for proteins and lowest for carbohydrates, and for a mixed diet it is around 10%. Okay, it is therefore estimated that an additional 10% calorie should be added to the total energy needed of the body towards SDA. So additionally we should add this 10% calories to the total energy needed. Okay, so while planning a diet, what we should do? We should add 10% calories additional to the normal required calories. Okay, and the diet should be planned accordingly. SDA is quite comparable to the handling charges levied by a bank for an outstation check. So this is a small example to explain this SDA. We can take this SDA as a handling charges levied by bank for outstation checks. Okay, so whatever the extra handling charges that bank will ask for outstation checks, in the same manner this SDA is 10% additional calories that will be required by our body. Okay, and the higher SDA for protein indicates that it is not a good source of energy. Here the higher SDA for protein indicates that it is not a good source of energy. Fat is the best source of energy due to its lower effect on SDA. However, excessive utilization of fat leads to ketosis. So here according to SDA, here proteins are bad sources due to the higher SDA for protein. It indicates it's not a good source of energy, and fat is the best source of energy as it contains lower SDA value. Okay, but by excessive utilization of fats, what will happen? It leads to ketosis process. Okay. Now let's see about mechanism of SDA. Okay, mechanism of SDA. Here the exact cause of SDA is not known. So here no exact purpose of this SDA is not known. Okay, it is generally believed that SDA of food is due to the energy required for digestion, absorption, transport, metabolism and storage of foods in the body. So here what is this SDA is meant for means there is no proper reason for the production of SDA. That means excess calories, why these excess calories were produced is not known, but going to assumptions, these SDA of foods may be due to the energy required for digestion purpose. So for digestion, absorption, transport, metabolism and storage of foods also require some certain amount of energy, and that particular energy is provided by SDA. Okay, so intravenous administration of amino acids or the oral ingestion of proteins gives the same SDA. So even though, why? Because even though if you are taking amino acids or proteins, from outside, that means during any deficiencies of amino acids, we can take these amino acids through in the form of injections, and also we can take proteins as supplement diets, okay, by oral through our oral method. So even though if we are giving amino acids through intravenous administration and proteins through oral ingestion, these products SDA is same as that of the internal SDA produced by amino acids and proteins. Okay, this shows that the SDA of proteins is not due to their digestion and absorption. So which tells us that SDA of protein is not due to their digestion and absorption. Hepatoctomy abolishes SDA. Hepatoctomy, and thereby indicating that SDA is closely connected with the metabolic functions of liver. So hepatoctomy is nothing but it is related to liver. It is the study of liver. Okay, by this hepatoctomy studies, this what we came to what conclusion was given means here SDA is closely connected with the metabolic functions of liver. So based on the metabolic functions of liver, this SDA will be dependent, and the SDA of proteins is primarily to meet the energy requirements for deamination, synthesis of urea, biosynthesis of proteins, synthesis of triacylglycerols. Okay, so this SDA of proteins is primarily due to the energy requirements of deamination reaction. So deamination reaction among these amino acids, and synthesis of urea, biosynthesis of few proteins, and synthesis of triethyl glycerol. All these will lead to the SDA of protein. SDA of protein. It has been demonstrated that certain amino acids increase the SDA. So due to presence of few amino acid, SDA value will be increased. It is a common experience that consumption of a protein rich diet makes us feel warm and comfortable in cold weather. Obviously, consumption of protein rich diet will produce higher amount of heat, and when we are in a colder climates, this will help us to be comfortable in the cold weather. Okay, and this is due to the high SDA of proteins. Okay, and the SDA of carbohydrates is attributed to the energy expenditure for the conversion of glucose to glycogen. Here SDA in carbohydrates is related to the energy expenditure for the conversion of glucose to glycogen. So whatever the glucose is converted into glycogen, it requires some certain amount of energy, and that energy by carbohydrates released by carbohydrates is meant for this particular glucose conversion into glycogen. As regarded fat, the SDA may be due to its storage, mobilization and oxidation. That means SDA of fat is due to the storage and mobilization and oxidation of fats. Due to these three processes of fats, it means storage of fats, mobilization of fats and oxidation of fats, leads to higher SDA of these fats. Okay. So this is about SDA. Apart from this, we will see a small topic called biological value of proteins. Biological value of proteins. The biological value of protein is defined as the percentage of absorbed nitrogen retained by the body. So here percentage of absorbed nitrogen retained by the body is calculated as biological value of protein. Okay, if you see the equation, biological value, that is BV is equal to nitrogen retained by nitrogen absorbed into 100. Okay. And for the measurement of biological value, the experimental animals, namely this weaning albino rats were taken. So experiments on this weaning albino rats was carried to measure this biological value. Firstly, what they did is they fed that particular rat with protein free diet for 10 days. Okay, first they have provided with protein free diet for this particular rat. What rat it is? It is an albino rat. Okay, and this carried for 10 continuous days. Okay, and then they are kept on a 10% protein diet due to protein diet and will be tested for biological value of protein. So after few days of this albino rat treating without giving without protein diet, that means lack of protein diet is given to the this albino rat for 10 days and they are kept on a 10% protein diet to be tested for biological value of protein. Okay, then after 10 days they have tested the rat for the biological value of protein identification. Okay, in this urine and feces are collected for both the periods, that is protein free diet and protein diet. When a patient is taking protein free diet and also taking protein diet, that particular patient's urine and feces will be collected and nitrogen will be estimated in the diet, feces and urine samples. Okay, so nitrogen will be calculated in the 3 samples of the patient. Okay, biological value can be calculated by the following formula, that is BV is equal to N absorbed minus N lost in metabolism by N absorbed into 100. Okay, using this they try to identify this particular biological value. If you see this diagram, PV is equal to Ln minus Fn minus Fc into minus Un minus Uc by Ln Fn minus Fc into 100. So here In is nitrogen ingested and Fn means nitrogen in feces on protein diet, Fc means nitrogen in feces on protein free diet and Un means nitrogen in feces on protein free diet and Un is nitrogen in urine on protein diet, Uc is nitrogen in urine on protein free diet. Okay, so these 4 conditions were taken. For the calculation of biological value of proteins, experiments can be done even in human subjects. Okay, so till now we tested on the white mice, right? And also for calculation of this biological values we can also take human as a subject. Okay, The biological value provides a reasonably good index for the nutritive value of proteins. Okay, by taking biological value, it will give good index for the nutritive value of proteins. But unfortunately, this method has an inherent drawback. Okay, so by calculating this biological value, this method is very helpful. That means feeding with protein free diet for 10 days and after giving protein diet. So and also by calculating that with BV is equal to ln minus Fn minus Fc minus Un minus U by ln minus Fn minus Fc into 100. This reaction will help a lot. Okay. But what happened, this method have few inherent drawbacks. Okay, it cannot take into account the nitrogen that must be lost during the digestion process. So here nitrogen is being taken as the parameter, but here what happened, this taking nitrogen for the calculation of biological value is not correct. Why? Because nitrogen, it might be lost during the digestion process. It might be lost during the digestion process. For example, if the ingested nitrogen is 100 mg and absorbed is 10 mg and retained is 18 mg, and the BV is 8 by 10 into 100 is equal to 80. So if you see this, ingested nitrogen, if it is 100 mg and absorbed will be 10 mg and retained will be 18 mg. Okay, and if you see the diagram, if you see the equation here, BV is equal to 8 by 10 into 100 is equal to 80. Okay, this figure is enormous. Since the major part of the protein did not enter the body at all for utilization. Okay, so this particular experiment has major part of the protein and does not enter the body at all for utilization. Okay, this is about biological value of proteins, and also for the SDA, specific dynamic number. So that is for today's class, students. Please keep the material given for you with you while listening to the class. Listen each and every class for 1 to 2 times. If you have any doubts, please contact me, and also note down the important points from the class while listening to the class, and have a happy learning. Always stay safe. Thank you, students.